afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming out this morning. Let me first start, and I know we're waiting for Councilman Squilla, my colleague and friend. Councilman Squilla and I, along with all the members of City Council, have asked again for the administration to change its failed homeless strategy in Kensington. We have watched this administration, when it wants to, clear out the airport encampment, clear out the encampments around the convention center, and it is now negotiating the Parkway encampment. Well, in Kensington, 3 years later, when are you going to help the homeless in Kensington so we can restore the quality of life to the residents who live here? So I'm here this morning to apologize to our community stakeholders who are on the ground every single day, and we have not been able to make progress. In fact, in the post-COVID world, we are worse off. What did we find out during COVID? That the administration took resources from this community, and we were left to our own devices. We were left to police being counselors and doing all the work. We didn't have trash collection. We didn't have a bunch of things going on in Kensington, and no one told us. They left us here and the residents of Kensington to feed for ourselves. Come on, Councilman Squilla. I'm trying to do this. You gotta follow the rules, people. Mask up. I'm sorry, I'm very frustrated, so I'm gonna let my colleagues talk a little bit through this. And then, why we're here this morning, we have given the administration plan after plan after plan, details after details after details. This is like the 5th rendition of what we're asking them to invest in the residents of Kensington, and I'll talk through that a little bit. But with you this morning, my colleague, Councilman Squilla, and I are constantly talking about this. It'll be 11 o'clock at night. It'll be 7 o'clock in the morning. Every single day, feeling the sense of urgency and frustration and embarrassment that we've allowed Kensington to become in the conditions that it is today. Councilman Squilla?
Thank you, Councilmember Sanchez. And I want to say the frustration that we have is not because not a lack of effort. We've been with the meetings with homeless services, with the managing director's office, with the community members and the community leadership here. They have worked with us and given us the ability to do everything that the administration asked, whether it was a respite, to open up a center for addiction, whatever it was that we needed to do, the community stepped up and did that with our partners. And yet, time after time after time, the community seems to be left behind. And now you see today, as you ride by, you see some cleanups happening and things happening. Did they happen because we're having a press conference? Maybe, you know. But this is not the reason to do these things. These things have to be done every day. The neighborhood is sick and tired of having to deal with this. Walking out their door, whether they tread on needles, tread on human feces, have to live with the smell and the stench of what goes on because we're allowing it to happen. We are better than this. We are better than this, and we can do better. We have ability to get these people, to get them help that they need. But we can do that by also making sure we pay attention to the residents who live in this community. And that's the most important part. It can't be just one-sided. We can't just say we need to help people. Everybody has civil rights. We all have civil rights, and we want to protect those rights. We want to protect those rights to make sure everybody has the freedom to live in their home, to feel safe in their neighborhoods, but also to know that the people that are on the streets need to help, and we can help them. We don't help them by leaving them on the streets. We don't help them by guiding them around and moving them around. That doesn't help them. We don't help them by letting them stay in a tent in the street and let them stay there because somebody's going to feed them or bring them clothes, and that doesn't help them. We're enabling them to stay in the same spot they were last year and actually grow the problem instead of resolve the problem. And that's what we're having here today. The reason why this press conference is so important is because what has been done in the past is not working. We need to do more. We need to do different things. We need to use our challenges and those challenges to make improvements for the city, for not only the people on the streets, because we need to help them, but for the community that lives in the that's being negatively impacted by what's going on around them. People are getting frustrated. People are starting to take things into their own hands. And the reason why that happens is because the city's not stepping up and doing it for them.
Yes.
We do not have the resources necessary to go in one day at a time and then house everybody into a home, put them in there, when some people don't even want to go. We reach out to folks time and time again and they don't want to leave, and we say that's okay. Well, that's not okay anymore. That's not okay. We need to say we have help for you. You either take the help or you need to move on. You can't live in a community where people are living here, paying taxes, working hard, and they have to put up with it because it's just okay because you don't want the help. We have the help to offer. We're working to get more help to offer that, and we need the city to understand that what they're doing now is no longer going to be tolerated. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for our colleagues and our partners. We need to continue this advocacy and have people work with us. Thank you.
I'm going to allow Representative Hohenstein to join us.
Thank you, Councilmember Quinones Sanchez and Councilmember Squilla. I'm Joe Hohenstein. I actually represent closer by the Delaware River. But one of the things we know, everything in Philadelphia affects everything else. And what we have on Kensington Avenue is a basic failure to govern, a basic failure to live up to the obligations and the responsibilities that we have, not only to the people who are living homeless on the street, but also to the people who live in the streets and in the neighborhoods around here. And what we've got, when we were sitting down in the meetings this last week, and we were told, oh, the plan for this summer is the same plan as last summer. Last summer was not a plan. This summer is already started. What we need is coordinated efforts. Now, me on the state House of Representatives side, I'm going to work what I can to bring state resources into this neighborhood and into this area, because it's going to help us all the way around. We can only do that, though, if the city has a plan, and it's got to be a plan that empowers all of the nonprofit community members who are here supporting us. It empowers our residents. It empowers the police. I'm glad to see members of the 24th and 26th districts here. We have to be able to empower our first responders, our EMTs. We have to be able to empower all of these people who have a stake, because this is either where they're from or it is where they have made their lives. And right now, we've given up. And I was talking with somebody just earlier today, somebody who's been investing into this neighborhood, and he said in 4 or 5 years, this is the worst it's been, and we cannot tolerate it anymore. So I thank the council member for inviting me, and I want to just let you all know that in solidarity, there will be results coming from our actions, and that has to be how it goes, because if you don't work together, you don't have nearly as much force. Everybody doing these little bits and pieces, you don't have as much force as when you work together, and that's what the council member is trying to do. So thank you again, Maria. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge Senator Terteglione, Carmen Sosa from the office. Thank you. Thank you to the senator. I want to acknowledge the war leader, Donna Allman, who's also here today. Thank you very much. I know we have some of our commanding officers, Inspector Michael Cram and Captain Rosario, who are our partners. It is not their jobs to be counselors, outreach workers, and all those other things. This is about public safety, but it's more about quality of life. I'm going to bring up our community partners. So Kensington is lucky. We have a lot of capacity here of partners who have been doing an extraordinary job with limited resources. We ask them to step up to the plate every single day, and they do it outside of the norm of things we haven't ever imagined. I grew up in Hunting Park, and I'm not shy about a whole lot of things, but the things I've seen over the last 3 months outrage me. It outraged me because I know the people in this neighborhood are not numbers. I know names. People and families who are traumatized, children that will forever be traumatized about what we've normalized for them here in Kensington. So I want to bring up the community partners, Casey O'Donnell from Impact Services, Maria Gonzalez from ASEC, who have been strategic partners in this, Susan Coach from Esperanza Health, who is hosting us, and Hector Ayala from the Hispanic Counseling Center.
When in your lives has doing nothing ever worked? If you're a parent, right, or you're a dog owner, raise your hand, right? When has doing nothing worked for your kids, for your household? In your life, if you've dealt with substance abuse, when has doing nothing ever worked for you? It hasn't. You can't wait it out. You can't wait these problems out. We need to take action. People that are injecting fentanyl 5 times a day are not coming off the streets because existing treatment modalities do not work for this population. We need to figure something out now. We need housing now. We need to clean the streets now. Kev, Mike, Howard, guys that clean this intersection every day. It's possible. If the resources are here, it is possible. Walking over to the press conference, I see a dozen police officers. Hold on, I'll pause. I see a dozen police officers. Here, that works. I also saw somebody break a window 5 doors down, and the police, their hands are tied. I do not believe that police should be incarcerating everyone, right? We believe in civil rights and we believe in human rights. We also believe that there are certain behaviors in public that are unacceptable. Do you want your children watching somebody shoot up in the neck? That person is in great distress. They are suffering from their addiction. How can we actually help them instead of doing nothing? Around the corner, if we walk away from this clean little section, around the corner, there's an encampment across from the shelter that we supported to open. My organization worked to make sure with the city of Philadelphia and other partners that we could bring 40 people off the street and inside. And yet there's 40 more outside, building a camp, injecting narcotics, selling the sneakers that were stolen out of the stores that were looted 2 weeks ago. This needs to end now. The city needs to come together now. This is unacceptable. Look around, put it on camera. The rest of Philadelphia needs to pay attention now. There is no Philadelphia without neighborhoods. Raise your hand if you're a Philadelphian.
Amen.
There is no city without you. This is unacceptable. Let's get it together, Philly.